Greetings from Snakemountainboatworks on Friday, December 7. Yes, finally, after a long disappearance, Susan, the 1940 16-foot Lyman Yacht Tender, is ready for staining. Joe and RJ are applying this Sandusky Paint Company Chris Craft Red filler stain. While she's been away, sort of away, Susan has received 19 coats of Pettit Easypoxy Hi-Build varnish on her hull sides, top sides, if you will, and transom. But now it's time to really make her shine beautifully and show what she's going to be. We're using a filler stain, which, unlike the gel stains that we've been using on some projects, we need to put on and allow it to flash a little bit. We've learned through tough experiences that allowing these filler stains to flash too much is a prescription for misery. So we'll apply the stain to the foredeck and then start scrubbing away. And since somebody has to shoot the video, unfortunately I'm not involved in applying the varnish. But in just a minute we'll add me to the mix here for scrubbing a little bit. The deck seams on both the foredeck and the aft deck in this boat are really thin. We've sanded them all. RJ and Joe, you used 80 grit paper that you folded up into well, why don't you tell us what you did?
Basically take a piece of sandpaper and fold it in half and then use the edge of it and set it down in the seams and run it back and forth. It cleans out all the little hairs and extra wood in the seam and little burrs.
And our plan, based on the research I've been able to do, and it's very difficult to find information on this 1940 yacht tender. The best I can discover, Lyman made 3 of these in 1940. So it must be a bad year for yachts, I guess, or yacht owners felt they could get out to their boats without a yacht tender. But we've got one of those 3 right here. She's all original. We haven't replaced any wood on her. I'll let these guys keep painting and be back in a minute when we start scrubbing. I was just commenting with the guys, and RJ agreed that there's a real difference between these filler stains and the gel stains. The gel stains are nice because it's easy to get a uniform result, but in our experience the gel stain pretty much sits on the surface. It doesn't really penetrate and fill the way this Sandpaco stain is filling. And I'm not sure we can pick it up because of the lights, but it is flashing quite quickly. RJ, what did you use to thin, RJ?
Mineral spirits.
Mineral spirits, and RJ thinned it to the consistency of varnish. So in a moment we'll begin scrubbing. We're attacking this in sections. We'll get the stain applied to the foredeck, the inside edge surface of the coaming, and scrub that before we begin attacking aft of the foredeck. So now it's scrubbing time. You notice we're working across the grain. This is a filler stain, so it's meant to fill the valleys in the wood fiber. But we've got to scrub it off until we can see mahogany beneath it. I've seen too many boats where people stop this process too soon and you end up with what effectively looks like red painted mahogany. You want to be able to see the grain. Well, little boats become big boats when you're staining them. A hint, if and when it's your turn to do this, we found that the Sandusky filler stain this time, for some reason, flashed almost immediately. It got right ahead of us, and we had great difficulty scrubbing the stain off so that any grain showed up. So we did an experiment. Since it's my boat, if we're going to ruin it, we'll ruin my boat. And soaked some terry cloth towels with, not soaked them, but got them wet with mineral spirits and washed the surface down, got it damp, well actually got it pretty wet, and then went back to scrubbing. Boy, was that the solution. So we've got everything done except the aft deck, and soon we will be applying 3 coats of clear penetrating epoxy sealer to all of these surfaces, and then it becomes varnish time. I can't wait to see it. So after endless elbow grease, going through mountains and mountains of terry cloth towels and cheesecloth, we've got her cleaned off, grain showing through nicely, a nice uniform result. We will now allow her to dry over the weekend, and on Monday She will receive her first 2 coats of clear penetrating epoxy sealer. We'll allow that to cure for 24 hours and apply a 3rd coat. Once she has cured completely, the CPES is solid and absolutely dry, we will fill the seams. And on this boat, we are following the history that we've been able to uncover, all of which showed these deck seams, which are very, very thin, partially filled with a mahogany Sikaflex-like material. So in fact, we will fill them also with mahogany Sikaflex, not all the way to the top, as is so often the case with white seams. In this case, it will be like my 1953 Shepherd runabout Voodoo Child. We will fill the seams about halfway so that once varnished, the seam edges still figure prominently in how she presents herself. So, it's been a long afternoon, and sent the guys away for the weekend. And now we will end this update on the 1940 16-foot Lyman Yacht Tender. Thank you so much. Bye-bye for Snakemountainboatworks.